but I really like when I'm saying like, "Hey, Mike, like let's just keep this as a cold open." Like we're talking about something ridiculous.
I think we have the cold open right now. So
I feel like
Are we cold opening
Yeah.
currently?
Yeah.
Is this is what they like to call a cold open?
this is
Not a warm open?
frigid opening.
Okay, cool.
frigid, very frigid.
All right.
I sneezed. I feel like I'm a violent sneezer, so I try to avoid it. all the
Gotcha.
time. Well, some people like to sneeze, and I don't like to sneeze.
Who likes to sneeze?
There's lots of people say that
will
it's like
say-
1/7 of an orgasm, and I'm just like, I don't
What?
understand
I've never
why.
heard that.
1/7? That's way too high of a percentage.
That's what I said. Actually, exactly my
Is
words.
it just a female thing though,
I'm not sure.
or does something actually happen?
A little bit came out.
It came out.
I didn't put that together really quickly.
I don't know
Also,
if
come
that
closer
should be
to
on
the
the-
mic.
I don't know if that should be on the cold open.
I don't know. We can adjust the cold open.
Yeah. Well,
Let's just continue to talk about something.
It's your podcast. It's your
The
podcast.
thing about the cold open is you can't force it. You got to let it happen organically.
a little come out.
Come out. Yeah.
What's going to come out?
I just feel
Just
like,
a little, Mike.
Just a little.
I think what you're referring to is that it's the buildup of the sneeze. So
Like an anticipatory thing.
yeah, so like the buildup, you just want to get rid of it, right?
Yeah.
Because it's building up. It's like
Scratching an itch.
or like
Itching
know,
a scratch.
And change.
That's not comfortable.
like taking a shit, right? It's like the buildup can sometimes be uncomfortable, and then after you go, it feel like great.
So you're saying it's like a relief, like an anticipation,
Anticipation. Like precipitation.
precipitation. The anticipation of relief, and then the relief. So like you literally get what you anticipated.
Or what you're referring to as release. The 1/7 of release.
1/7 of it.
I think it's a very different release, though. Like I know.
Yeah, well, I hope so.
At no point.
I don't know what you.
I don't. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know what these people are having as far as like sneezes and poops and stuff like that, but it's a little bit of a different release.
Well, my argument would also be if we're doing fractions, then I feel like if I sneeze
1/7
7
is-
times.
You're the one who came up with 1/7.
One
Nobody
seventh.
else.
That's what
did.
I-
I'm almost Mike. Look it up. I'm
1/7.
positive. I bet you it's out there because I've this has come up a bunch of times.
1/7 of an orgasm.
Yeah, and
That's
I didn't.
really
I
high.
think this is something you just made up.
I would
No.
sneeze way more.
This
on
is like where you
purpose.
say, I read stuff all the time, and I have never seen you read a book. I've lived with you for a year.
You've never seen me read a book?
"Oh, this is a little bit of a case here."
I have
Dan
a bunch
does
of
say
books.
he
I have a
reads all
book
the
in my
time.
bag right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, The Artist's Way.
When do you read? Then?
The question is, how many pages is it? Yeah.
Also, I read books on my phone all the time.
I'm just fucking
On your
with you.
phone?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, you
All
do
the
read a
time.
lot of stuff on your phone.
That's really
Yeah, I
interesting.
have a shit ton of stuff on my phone.
like books downloaded on your phone.
I have so many on my like on the virtual Kindle part.
Yeah.
That I have to delete one every time I get one. So I have to max them out.
Okay. Secondary question: what happens? Do you just delete them and just like let the book that you bought just go?
It goes off
into
into space. Yeah, yeah.
and you don't worry about it ever.
Well, I worry about it, and then I put I do like a candlelit vigil for it. At some point.
It's like the page master though. They kind of like fly away.
Yeah.
That was a page master, right? The books like fly.
I don't know. 1/7 of the
Page
books flew away. I don't know. What are you talking?
We still talking about?
Are you making this
Are
up?
you still talking about orgasms or what's going on
I
here?
don't know how this got back to this.
What's Page Master?
The page, like the movie, The Page Master.
Is that do you know that?
I mean,
Nobody's seen The Page Master?
I haven't seen it, but I know what he's talking about.
All right, so it's like an actual movie, like so it's like
A real movie.
As opposed to a fake movie.
No.
no, like so it turns into a cartoon. So it's not a cartoon, and
Wait,
it turns into a
I
cartoon.
have seen this. I take
And then they
everything
turn into
back.
different
Yep.
books,
Yep.
right? And
Like
then
Roger
there's,
Rabbit?
There's like a history book and like a fictional book, and like there's different books, and
seen this.
they take on those
Personalities?
of the books, but
Is
they
it
like
good?
fly.
Because there's like a
It's like a.
there's
I mean,
like a
it
Dr.
came out when
Jekyll
we
and
were
Mr.
younger.
Hyde one as well. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was
I remember.
the
Yep.
horror one.
Yep, that was the horror one. Yep,
Yeah,
that was good.
So
I've seen
they
it.
fly. The books fly. So
Yeah.
I was thinking when you said they just float away, that's what.
I kind of like that reference. Now I kind of want
Brain
to watch
on
this
too.
movie.
It's
Sorry.
actually it was a movie that I watched like a few times when I was a kid.
Yeah, it's a
yeah,
kid movie.
It's good.
I'm really not surprised that you've seen this movie. And I'm also not surprised that you've seen it multiple times.
As a kid, not recently. Different, kind of. Nah, probably not.
Why are you not
I have to,
surprised?
because I'm like waiting for him to be like, actually, I saw this yesterday.
I watched it 2 days ago. I was joking the entire time. I love this movie. I watch it every year.
Nice.
I have a tattoo of it on my back.
It's actually a lower back tattoo. Don't worry about it.
I think one of the things is Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, if I'm not mistaken.
Was that enough of like a coy yeah, I might know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
he just kind of eased into it.
Yeah, exactly.
First he goes, I've never heard of this. And he goes, wait, isn't this a specific book that's in there?
This is how he does all the
The
time.
Golden
because
Snatch.
we went to Harry Potter trivia, speaking of that, the other night.
This
and
is what you told me when you came back and we were washing dishes.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he was.
Oh, you talked about my Harry Potter
knowledge.
knowledge.
And I was like, yeah, he comes to Harry Potter and goes, man, I wish this was more. First of all, kind of strange that you were like, I wish this was more on the books than the movies because I've read the shit out of the books. And he goes, well, I've seen the movies countless times, but, and then proceeds to answer every question pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, it's not wrong. Mm-hmm. But the question is, what's countless?
Segue into the question.
Welcome back to ATP, everybody. We are joined today with obviously Dan, who's been here every single time since now. But we actually have Logan, who I just met about 20 minutes ago and has known the Mad Lab crew for a while. As you can see with his shirt, he's actually wearing the Mad Lab shirt currently.
He's an original.
He's an original,
I am
yeah.
original.
So Logan, how you doing today, bud?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to be here. I was actually very interested to be on this, actually. 2 days ago when I listened to this, I was like, dude, that podcast sounds like a blast. And Dan's like, you need to get on it. And I was like, all right.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Mike hit me up and was like, hey, can Logan be on the podcast tonight? I was like, oh, yeah, man. Let's do it.
I'm
here you are.
excited. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
Thanks
And
for having me.
yeah, of course, man. The topics tonight are pretty much exactly what they've been. We haven't decided on a new segment yet, but before we get started, Mike, I want to have a little bit of a let's talk about what segments we may want to do going forward. What are some ideas that you guys would have off the top of your head before we get started? Like, what's a fun segment you think we could do?
I want to do a segment where we keep score of something.
So that's okay. That's fair. I like that.
Even if it's kept score by Mike, or we bring like a third party judge in, or
Okay.
it's
Who would
like
the
the
third party
audience.
judge be?
I have no idea.
So whoever the third party is of
Not
the
you.
podcast.
You're too judgy. That's right.
There you go.
But something like that. So even if it was something that later was figured out in the comments section, I think that would be kind of cool.
Okay. Cool. All right, Logan, any ideas? I was the new listener.
I have no idea.
Okay, so far very helpful.
Oh, just spring these things upon us. We met Logan
He is a
20
little
minutes
like
ago.
Brian. He is a little like Brian.
He is a little like Brian.
I don't know who Brian is,
That's
but
all
we'll
right.
go ahead and keep that. I know I
We'll
need
tell
to
you-
know.
we'll
Yeah,
tell you about that.
Okay, you'll tell me later. All right, fair enough. Okay, so this is the part where, once again, I'm going to keep saying this until we actually get a sponsor. This is the part where, if you were a company that wanted to sponsor us, you could have your ad read right here, right now. And this podcast, right, literally right here.
Right there.
Yeah, right here. I would read it right here.
Like Ortega taco sauce,
Ortega taco sauce. That's
which I had
very
on
specific.
my chicken on my way over here. It's fantastic.
cool. Okay, Ortega taco sauce. I've never heard of it
Yeah,
before,
reach
but
out
there
and
we go.
interview
Reach out.
first,
Yeah.
like the other thousands.
Yes.
Of sponsors
Remember,
that.
thousands. Thousands of people. Okay. If you had the what was I even saying? Okay,
You were talking about
yeah,
sponsors.
sponsor.
You
Yeah.
were talking about how great I am.
Yes.
as
Sure.
well.
I wasn't saying that part.
Oh, all
but
right.
Good catch.
That's fair.
Thanks, Mike. But yeah, your sponsor, your ad could be right here. It'd be awesome. I would say great things about your company, and in return, we would turn over some people over to you and help your business out. So
Yeah,
remember
millions
that.
of people watch this podcast in the future.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because
I'm
I've
gonna-
seen into the future Page Master style.
I'm gonna call it now.
You can't quote.
I was gonna
You
say-
can't quote a movie that you haven't seen.
But
I
is he
don't like
wrong?
how you're trying to limit me.
Okay.
Got him.
All right. Good job. Good job. All right. All right, Mike. Let's go ahead and just get into it today. Let's hit us with that first question. Okay, the question is just, what are our pet peeves? What are some of our pet peeves?
Like something that grinds your gears.
Mm-hmm.
This is like a Peter Griffin segment.
Logan,
It is Peter Griffin segment.
Logan grinds my.
Am I your
gears.
pet peeve?
Man, he's not. You just come on the podcast. Mike's already after you.
Yeah,
was
he's
gonna
not even
say.
supposed to talk. The
He's
producer
excited.
back there without a mic.
I was going to say, he does have a mic
Oh,
right there.
never mind.
Actually, yeah.
Never mind. Chewing with your mouth open.
Easy one.
I have a family member who does this, and it drives me nuts every time.
Like,
All the time.
That
It's-
explains a lot.
I mean, I guess if you're in ASMR, like some people are, they're into that. But it's not for me.
he references ASMR like every podcast.
Really?
Before we start.
Oh, I
Yes.
didn't know that.
I think it's
it's
just
pretty-
funny. I don't know
it's
why.
hilarious.
Yeah, they talk about it on a couple podcasts, like once or twice, I should say. They've talked about it on podcasts I listen to, and I'm just like, I don't know. It's just
He just
ridiculous.
goes, I get it.
Have you seen the mics with the ears in them?
Yeah. I've never seen that, but
They have
That's-
mics with ears in them that some. I don't. Never mind.
okay, no, there we go. Yeah, somebody might like.
Wait, because
My pet
Why?
peeve, my
The
new
mic
pet peeve.
has a fake ear here, and they go. And,
Oh, I
and then
see
they
what
like
you're
go like this, like.
so you can
Very
just be like,
strange. See, that's the shit that pisses
that
me
would
off.
piss
though.
me off though.
Yeah.
So I can't say anything about it because
I've-
even like when little kids do, like, because Jack does it sometimes, and I'll be like, Jack, chew with me.
I don't know why though. There's no rhyme or reason to why it's irritating.
No, I think there is. It's the sound of it.
It's the
I think-
sound,
yeah,
the look
it's-
of it, and then it's also.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks rude, and you're
Yeah.
taught it's rude growing up. So then you're just watching something that's rude that has a noise attached to it and a very, very much a visual effect too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I was gonna say, I feel like it makes perfect sense. It's
Yeah.
not. It's a pretty unattractive quality to watch.
You might have
Right,
just
and
helped
listen to.
400,000 people close their mouths while they eat. now.
Yeah, I think if we, I
because I imagine
was gonna say
that's how many are
400,000. Yes,
You said
listeners.
millions.
Yeah, but that's in the future.
Eventual.
Now,
Okay,
this one was
listeners.
should have like 400,000 or 500,000, I'd imagine.
Something like
listen
that.
to it.
more or
Yes.
less.
Yeah.
yeah, plus or minus 200,000 probably.
Yeah, or like, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
My new pet peeve is putting ears on microphones. I think that's
That's too far.
that's too far. It's,
It is-
That's really weird.
It's strange.
You have to have a couple specific.
Oh, I'm definitely
very specific.
I'm
pet peeves.
definitely a pet peeve guy. for
Yes.
sure. There's some small ridiculous pet peeves that I have.
I have some too.
I know you do too, because
I think my first one, I feel like an old man for even bringing this up right away, but like
I already
the pet peeve that I just thought of immediately is, and this happens way more on the East Coast than it does on the West Coast, is the way that people will just pull up when I'm driving.
Oh my
And they'll
God, we
just
can't-
pull up
alright.
on your ass and just sit like 6 inches while you're going 85 miles an hour. They will be 6 inches behind you, just riding your ass the entire time. I want to pull over, like have them pull over with me. I don't know how that would get them to do that, and then just bash their head into a window a few times. Like,
that's intense.
yes, but I mean it. It's
And
just like
90% of the time, it's a BMW.
somehow yes, yeah, 90% of the time. All the
For me, it's usually a school bus driven by a clown. Wasn't that the
Like Krusty Clown?
No, it's remember that video game with the psycho clown? And didn't he drive a school bus? No, he drove
Oh
an ice
yeah,
cream
yeah,
truck.
that was
Twisted Metal.
Twisted Metal.
Yeah,
Yep,
ice cream truck.
Yeah,
It was
that
ice cream
was
truck.
PS1 style stuff.
It was.
Yeah, that was good.
It was good.
That was a great game.
It was.
Yeah,
Um,
that's my
that-
that's my pet peeve.
I hate that
Yeah, I
too.
hate when
Well,
people tail
No,
me
I
like
hate that too.
if we're going into driving,
Okay.
Oh,
then
no.
buckle up, pun intended. I'd say.
Like that pet peeve, new pet peeve.
Yes.
Puns like that.
Yep. One, I don't even know where to start with this. Merging, I'd have to start with. So I feel like people are terrible at merging and don't understand it at all. When you're in the, so from both sides.
Yeah.
If you're merging, no one owes you anything. You get in where you fit in, literally. That's how it works. If you're in the right lane, I think that if you're
Take
a
it how
truck,
you will.
don't ever move over. Don't ever move over. If you're a truck, just stay the same speed and let people get in where they fit in. You know, that's what I think should happen. If the truck
need a
moves
new
over,
saying for this.
then it lows. No, I like
No,
this
I
perfect.
think I
This
was
is
gonna say
perfect.
the saying
Yeah.
works. Keep
Yeah.
it. Keep it.
So then, if the truck moves over, then it'll slow down the whole left lane,
Yeah.
especially on a 2-lane highway. If anybody else slow that freaks out moves over, they're not going to go any faster, and that's my next pet peeve would be the left lane. So
when
let's
people
continue.
go slow in the left lane.
Yes.
Oh.
Also, when you merge, you need to merge into what is expected. And so almost every merge lane, not everyone, like there are merge lanes that go into the same exit. You know what I'm saying? So then you have to get over at wherever the dotted lines are. So you have like how many yards or feet or whatever to get over. But if a merge lane is going to end, that's when you merge, because everybody should expect that's when you're going in there. You adjust your speed to merge into traffic where people should have proper spacing, not like the guys that are right on your bumper.
Yeah.
Right? So if you're in that right lane, you should maintain proper spacing, and then you would know when somebody's coming over, so you don't have to brake at a weird time. If somebody comes over too early, then people are going to start to brake, and that slows down traffic, especially when there's a volume of traffic. Also, if there's multiple lanes and it's going down into one lane, the reason there are multiple lanes is to fit a certain amount of cars through a slow spot. A lot of times it's a traffic light. So you'll pull up to a traffic light, 2 lanes of traffic, and then it goes into 1 lane afterwards. Well, people will be like, why are these people coming in the right lane? Because the right lane's going to end. So they won't let people in there. However, it's so that you can get the max amount of cars through the light as fast as you can. Otherwise, it slows down traffic. So if you have 8 cars in the left lane and the right lane's going to end, and you only have 2 in the right lane, then get the F in the right lane. It's not rude. It's just the way it's supposed to go. And then you alternate merge.
I agree with this completely, but
No. Go on. I think we're on the same page here.
the way that you describe this makes it sound like you're literally an engineer who came up with it.
I've already read
The
the research
process of
on
it.
it, and I'm writing a book on driving.
I was
So-
actually just going to sarcastically ask, "Are you writing?
Are you writing a
it's
book?
too?
Yep.
Yeah. It's called
Wait,
How
seriously?
to Not. Yes, I am.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I swear to God. I swear to God. I have it in my phone right now. I'll show it to you. Yeah.
I'm so
It's called How
proud
to
and
Not.
ashamed at the same time.
It's how to not drive like an asshole. A book for senior citizens and teenagers and everybody in between.
You've done the research on this too.
Yes.
I don't doubt you
I've
for
done
a
the
second.
research. Yeah, that's
I don't
why
doubt you
they
for a
have the
second.
merge lanes, and that's why I hate when people post stuff and they're like, if anybody does it, like tries to go all the way to the lane ends, I will literally just pull over and stop my car and let them run into my car. I'm like, your car should explode. Like your car should just instantaneously combust and just explode like that. You're the whole reason that there's traffic. It drives me
Also,
insane.
how ridiculous is it that you don't want to just let somebody out in front of you? Like, you're not losing any time. And people
No.
are just like, oh, this person wants to get in my lane. I better speed up so they don't get in front of me.
Right.
What
Yeah.
are you
Oh,
losing?
God.
And then also,
Wait, are
if
you
you speed
losing
up,
maybe 10 seconds of
yeah,
your
it's
drive?
Maybe it's like a total
Maybe.
of like 10 yards of space, right? Like but like in football, every yard counts, right?
and 100 of those, because then there's a lot of volume, 100 of those is going to slow down traffic a ton.
Oh,
And then
no,
you put
it's
that
gonna be
over
awful.
hours,
Yeah.
and that people will be like, why is traffic so slow? And there's no accident, no construction. It's literally just that.
I still can't believe you're writing a book about this. That makes me so happy, and you have to tell me when you're finished with this because I want to
It'll
read it
take
so
a while because
badly.
we have a lot of projects with Mad Lab and the charity and podcasting and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah,
So
we
it's
are-
been on very much the back burner.
Yeah.
But I even have some of the chapters like organized.
Really?
Yes.
All right,
Merging
well.
is a big one. Another one would be accidents. Like, why are you, if you so much as slow down 5 miles an hour to look over to your right at an accident just because you're curious, I want to ram your car.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. That one, it's none of your business. 2, it's probably somebody's worst day.
They call that rubbernecking for those who are not.
It is. And it drives, I will hit my horn and scream at people so that they will not do that. If I see
It causes
head
a
turn-
lot of traffic,
It
actually,
does.
rubbernecking.
Yeah.
A ton.
Oh no, I've actually like been in like bumper to bumper traffic for hours and
And you get up there and you're like,
got up there and realized that like the entire reason
No
we were
lanes
in
are
bumper
closed.
to bumper,
No lanes are closed.
were
Somebody's on
closed
the shoulder and
because
it's a
people are
pretty
just
bad
like
accident.
pausing to look.
and
to
it's
see
like
what's
on
going
the other side. It's not
Yeah.
even like
Yeah.
on your side.
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
highway,
exactly.
wherever. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
that's
awful.
ridiculous.
It's
Hey,
awful.
can you imagine if it's a family member of yours and everybody wants to see your family member like in
Yeah.
a crash and God knows what's happened to them,
Yeah.
and so everybody slows down to watch that? How mad would you be?
It's not that though. I think it's the
just
fear
a
of the
curiosity
unknown.
and
The curiosity.
Yeah.
It's definitely the curiosity.
It's not like they're like trying to like
they're like, I can't wait to see a dead person. It's like, what
Yeah.
is this going on?
It's weird when you see dead people on
Don't
the side.
defend these people.
We're not necessarily
not.
defending them. We're just saying this is why.
I also saw a car on fire. I saw a car on fire on the side of the road on my way to Baltimore before I was living there when I was in Sykesville, and I was on my way,
It's pretty extreme though.
and I definitely rubbernecked.
And
because
also, fire
it
is-
was upside down and on fire, and I was like, that's something you don't see every day.
I was just talking.
and also it's bright,
So I
and
did rubberneck. there.
shiny, and you're like a little child.
So I apologize.
I was
but
talking about my
I do
trip.
agree that the rubbernecking's
Yeah,
issue.
yeah, absolutely. I was talking about my trip out west, and I definitely was like driving back to Seattle from Bend, Oregon, and there was just a dead person on the side of the road that they were like bagging, and so I definitely paused a little bit on that one.
That's a lot.
Yeah, so they
That-
got into a
All right, well, those are
motorcycle
traumatic.
accident.
So that like you saw it out of the corner of your eye, or you looked over and you're like, "Oh shit,
That's
this
a
is
dead
happening."
person,
But
yeah.
if you're like, "There's a crash," and you're like, "Well, let me see what's happening. Is anybody dead? Do I see some damage? Who messed this up?" Like
See, I
that.
don't think-
I hope. I almost hope you crash. Almost. I don't actually hope that on
Yeah,
any of you listening.
because that would cause
maybe
more
some of you.
rubbernecking.
Yes, that would cause more rubbernecking. That's the only reason.
Yes,
No, I'm
yeah,
just
of
kidding.
course.
Just kidding.
Doing bicep curls in the squat rack.
Oh, that's actually an excellent one.
But it's almost become so. It's such a pet peeve, and so like everybody hates it that it's become ironic in some places. I don't know about
It still happens,
It happens a
all the
lot.
time.
Of course it does.
I guarantee that at some major commercial gyms, it happens every single day.
You know what's my favorite thing to do?
Not Sundays, those guys.
Put 35s everywhere in the gym.
I was gonna say
Now I'm
squat.
heated.
Squat in the easy bar rack.
Squat the easy bar rack.
I saw somebody say that the other day, and I thought it was hilarious. it's like
fun.
easy bar curls.
Wait, you put
just
the
like,
easy
Put the
bar
on your back and you start squatting
What?
or do
Yeah.
lunges. Yeah,
That would be
It's
awesome.
how to get back at them.
yeah, I like it.
Yeah,
Tomorrow. I'm doing that tomorrow.
good. All right, cool, Mike.
Well,
Hey,
but-
send us a picture.
But we'll be there, Mike.
Are there any other glaring pet peeves that aren't traffic related?
Stop them, please. With the whole time.
Yeah, dude, I could go on this forever. So, I honestly, I would think that of all pet peeves, like those are my pet peeves. Besides common courtesies being polite, like somebody you open the door from somebody and they don't
Yeah.
even acknowledge you. You know, stuff
Yeah.
like that, like stuff where you're supposed to be polite, or somebody goes in a door and it shuts right in your face or somebody else's face. You know, like I don't understand why, but a lot of it is traffic related, like cars. People getting into cars and not caring about other individuals because they're behind some metal drives
Yeah.
me crazy.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them wouldn't walk that way.
No, of course. Well, I would hope not. They're just walking like right behind you.
Yeah, well, some of them would, but
It's
you know.
weird.
But it's much rarer than you see in traffic.
Oh yeah, cars it happens all the time.
Yeah.
All right, Mike, hit us with the next one. Oh, this is an easy one for me. So what is something popular now that annoys you? I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I don't know if you guys are thinking it, but fuck TikTok.
I knew you were gonna say
Fuck
TikTok.
TikTok. TikTok can suck my dick.
Jesus.
Okay, that was aggressive.
That was aggressive.
Apologize for that. TikTok is not my favorite thing in the world. I just hate the culture that it's bred, and it's hilarious. It's hilarious to
bred.
watch. No, seriously. I was at when I was in Knoxville, Tennessee, not too long ago. It's right next to University of Tennessee. Well, I should say University of Tennessee is in Knoxville, right? So you see a bunch of college students just kind of running around doing their thing. Every 5 seconds, you would stop because there was just a bunch of teenagers filming a TikTok in the middle of the street.
That
And it's just-
often?
yeah, dude, it's ridiculous. And I can only imagine if it's that bad in Knoxville, Tennessee. Imagine Los Angeles or like any type of like actually anywhere in California. Let's be real. Just like I asked my friends in LA, are people just filming stuff in the streets every time, like everywhere, every second of every block? Because it seems like it with the amount of videos that people are producing
What'd
on
they say?
TikTok, and they're like it's pretty frequent, but it's not like everywhere. But
So not
it's-
frequent, but not rampant.
no, it's not rampant, but it feels like it would be rampant with the amount of videos. And like, there's so many people filming and posting on TikTok all the time and doing these videos over and over again. And you better believe they're not doing them on their first takes, right? They're probably doing like 5, 6, 7, sometimes 10 plus takes to get it right. So it's outrageous. I don't know. It's just
For
it
me,
drives me nuts.
I think all social media is like that, but it does become like a very much a positive negative thing for me. Like negative would be like sometimes people spend so much time on it, and instead of doing some other things they should be doing, or they're interrupting other people, or like they're trying to make content, so then they're doing really stupid stuff.
yeah.
But then on the other side, it does create content. It makes some people be like really industrious. It's a good way to market.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, there's pros and cons, just like there is
Yeah.
with like Instagram and like any social media, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think the platform of TikTok has created like if there was a level that we reached from
It's like an
Instagram,
abomination.
No, I wouldn't say abomination, but I was gonna say if there's a level that we reached of ridiculous from Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, etc., TikTok just took it like a whole full step further. Right? It was like we're talking like multiplied it by 10 and it was just that much more ridiculous.
Well, that mixed with just COVID, everybody just ended up doing that instead of anything else, and then that just like skyrocketed everything with that.
People being bored with TikTok is
Exactly.
not a good combo.
Yeah. Just like bored with anything else, better than drugs and alcohol, I guess.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
As you open one of those.
Yep, there you go. Drugs and alcohol are terrible as he
Not
cracks
good for
open
you.
a
What
high
about
note.
you? Something that's popular that annoys you?
Pass. I gotta think.
Okay. Dan, it's up to you.
You don't know either.
Yeah, I would say like I don't really get annoyed by anything that's off the top of my head that's popular. But if I had to pick something, it would probably be like the mumble rap genre.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree with
like
that.
That's a good one.
That drives me nuts. I think there are some guys that like have their place, and they should be like they should be involved in songs, kind of in the background, almost as like glorified hype people.
Like Gucci Mane.
Gucci Mane. I just saw a list.
I was
and
gonna
he
say Lil
considered
Jon.
Gucci Mane was a
What?
I just
Yeah,
I just looked at a list of the worst rappers ever, and he was number one
Gucci
on
Mane?
this list. Yeah,
Number
I
one?
don't. I
There's
don't
some
think.
worse.
I don't agree.
There's some
I was
worse
gonna
rappers.
say-
He's got some good. He's got some good
Yeah.
verses.
I don't know.
No, I
That's
no, I
number
agree.
one.
I don't think that he is the worst rapper ever. I just think it's funny that you said that. I just think it's just funny that you said that, and then I just saw that list. But that would probably be the most annoying to me. It's more annoying not that it exists, but it takes the place of what could be better rap. Because I like the rap genre.
Yeah.
And I always have.
Well, I mean, rap
So-
in general is a great genre.
Amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it just
I don't,
sucks
I
that
don't
it's a
understand how
huge
people
portion
don't
is-
like it.
A huge portion is just like taken up by that right now.
Yeah.
And that bothers me.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not the greatest. I don't listen to it at all. So, like, I sometimes forget that, like, rap exists past 2016.
Yeah.
Maybe even, like,
That's very
earlier.
specific.
I don't know. I just was throwing out a
2000
random
What
number.
happened in 2016 that you were like?
I don't know, 2015. Who knows? I'm just, yeah.
All right.
Basically, whenever I graduated from University of Oregon, I just kind of like stopped listening to rap that came out after that. That's not completely true, but like most of it's like people that I was listening to already. Like Drake has some stuff that came out after and
True.
stuff like that I'll listen to, but like, I don't know. It's not like I'm going listening to like Juice WRLD and stuff like that very often. It's not my style.
I got you.
You should listen to his freestyle on
I
YouTube.
knew this was gonna come up.
Oh, it's dude. Dan didn't believe me either. But
No, I've
he
heard
was-
it's good. I've
he
heard
was trashing Juice WRLD for a little bit, and I was like, dude, just
I
watch
wasn't
this.
trashing Juice WRLD. You told me we were talking about freestyle artists, and you said Juice WRLD is one of the best freestyle artists I've ever heard, and I was like, you're crazy. And then he showed me, and it was that one on whatever show he's on.
Westwood,
He's on Westwood for like an hour and a half straight.
dude.
It's
It's nuts.
I've heard about this video. I shouldn't have used Juice WRLD as an example because I knew that was going to come back to get
Nah,
me.
sorry.
But no, you're good.
Well,
Hey,
also,
call
I
me
think-
out. Call me out.
I will say that I think that based on his the way that he freestyles and some of the way that he sings, I think sometimes I don't know if he chooses completely to put together some of his songs, but a lot of them I just feel like could be done so much better because he's so talented.
You can say that for Drake too, though. Like, so Drake sings in a lot of his songs, but like also he's a good rapper though too.
I think Drake's an excellent rapper.
Hey, guys.
I agree with you.
Can we pause for just a second to take a second to appreciate how Mike rolled up his sleeves so he could flex his triceps right now?
No, he did not.
Oh yeah, he is.
That's amazing.
Oh yeah.
I was wondering why you're looking over that.
I
thought it
saw
was a
that.
time
I
thing,
saw
and I was
that.
like, why is it
no.
time now?
I'm like, no. I looked and I was just like, oh, now he's just flexing in general. Look at that, Mikey coming out.
We did
All
some
right.
bicep work.
You didn't
the other
even-
day.
Gonna say, there you go.
He
You
didn't
can
even
tell.
do the arm farm with us today.
Yeah, you should have been there, bud.
Arm farm.
He
Should've been
couldn't.
there.
He had to be in
Wednesday.
Pennsylvania.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I forgot about that.
Now you feel like an ass, eh? Look, Mike, I got your back.
Thank you.
I'm here for you.
Nice triceps, dude. I'm not being sarcastic. Good stuff.
Well, Mike's been out benching me, so.
No, he hasn't.
Yeah,
Wait, really?
It's
Actually, I watched you bench today. That's not surprising.
jeez.
He was sticking with me the other day on Friday. We were benching.
I know he's freaking strong with that.
Yeah, I was gonna say Mike is undercover strong. Like you wouldn't think about it, but yeah.
He's a little sneaky Pete.
If-
He's a little sneaky Peter.
That's a terrible expression. I don't like that at all.
it sounded like you liked it.
It makes me laugh, but okay, all right.
Sneaky Pete.
What was the question again?
It was popular things that you do not like.
CrossFit.
Oh, that's actually really rough.
CrossFit.
Okay, that's-
Please go
yeah.
into that.
Yeah.
It's so many places that you can dig into.
I have so many opinions here. A CrossFit is just like, it's just bad. It's just bad.
But what
into
specifically
specifics,
bothers
yeah.
you the most about it?
It bothers me that the following that it has for how many people end up getting injured off of it. And typically the same people who are like advocates for it are people who have gotten like tens of injuries from it and like gotten all these issues. And they're like, oh, you know, I'm in such great shape. And they go out and talk. They talk about it like they're getting paid to talk about it too, is the thing. Like it's like I'm going to the gym and I'm doing strength training, and I'm not just going out of my way to be like, oh yeah, I do strength training, I do this is the things that I do. But it's like I'm a CrossFitter. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I do CrossFit. Like it's like they interject. It's kind of like the people who are doing like keto. You know what I'm talking about?
But yes, I do. But I will say, and this is I'm right there with
Are
you.
you coming at me?
I'm just gonna play a little advocate. Is all.
Devil's advocate.
Devil's advocate.
Yeah.
I don't like to give it like complete.
I have some devil's advocate stuff for it too.
All right. So I think that people are like that because a lot of them were in an uncomfortable place in life and they haven't gotten to belong to something. And CrossFit at some of its highest levels have some guys that are guys and women and guys that are in really, really good shape. They're in crazy shape. Right. And it creates a great community, and then they can say they do CrossFit, right? And so like that's like something that they've become, which I think is cool. I think that part is cool. I think that the number of injuries is wild.
Yes.
It's wild.
Well, I also agree with you. So like the sense of community that it brings is really cool, and I like to see that more. Like you do see it in some gyms, but I like to see that like pushed more for gyms is like, oh, I really love this gym because, you know, I belong here and I do this. But that, for whatever reason, the way that they push it at CrossFit is like, I'm a CrossFitter.
Well, it's because of the style.
Yeah,
it's because
well,
of
the
how
style,
they
right.
train. It's a group of people doing the same workout at the same time,
And they're
they
all
have a
suffering
common-
And look,
together.
and
yeah, exactly.
And I know some CrossFitters who are in great shape and it could kick my ass and could like outlift me in multiple different lifts. So I'm not saying it's not
You're not saying it's every single person.
correct.
Right. And there are some boxes that I think that are owned by people that are actually good programmers, and their box is done pretty well.
But as far as the general population goes, and I've seen the
Easily
the
80 or 90%.
extremists. You've seen the extremists
Yeah.
for this, just like any other group. It gets a little out of control.
I compared CrossFit to Scientology earlier today.
You did.
That's true.
You know what? Yeah.
It's like
It was actually-
That's actually not a bad one.
Go into it. Go
it
into
was,
it.
so we were mostly talking about CrossFit. Greg Glassman, the guy who started CrossFit, is just like a kind of out of shape turd, and he's a terrible human. And like, I love that he just created this like holistic workout lifestyle. Like there's dietary stuff that came along with it, like everything, right? He essentially created like a cult. And he himself was just a businessman, right? So he kind of knew what he was doing from the start, and kind of like Scientology though, like the parallels there, I should say, are it's just like people, it's like a guy who doesn't actually believe what he's preaching.
Yeah,
and
'cause he
just
doesn't
kinda looking
follow
for
it.
No, he doesn't follow
Yeah.
it, but he's just looking
So
to
he's a
make
hypocrite.
money.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
He's just looking
That's
to make money.
like the worst type of person.
And then just, you know,
Pet
gets
peeves.
people into
That money is why it's ended up the way that it has, right? So,
Yeah.
if you looked at marketing and fitness, you would follow CrossFit. If you looked at programming and fitness, you would not follow CrossFit.
No.
Because the marketing blew it up so fast that they grew so much that one of the biggest things that CrossFit tried to push as a business were to try to get people to open franchises.
Well, yeah, exactly.
To do so, they were taking certifications to be able to open up a box and then also to be able to train there in a weekend.
You have to pay $2,000 or something a year, I believe, to call yourself a CrossFit box.
Yeah, but that's not
or at least it used to be 2,000. It might be higher.
Yeah, I mean it is X amount of money, but any franchise is going to have a franchise fee, right?
Well, of course, but I'm
Yeah.
just saying. I'm saying like, no, if you were a private business owner who's starting his own gym,
Yeah.
right, rather than like
You
going
wouldn't pay a
into owning
franchise.
like a
Yeah.
Dunkin' Donuts or something,
Yeah.
right? It's different, right? In that sense of like it's a lot of people from the ground up were doing it, like they were starting their own stuff with their own culture, with their own advertising, right? But yeah, they would get to stick CrossFit on there. Right. So I guess in a sense it is similar, but it's a little bit different.
Yeah, that I don't dislike because it is a business model.
Yeah.
And it is like anybody's going to have franchise fees, right? So if you're going to be an Orange Theory or whatever else you're going to be, like any
Whatever
kind of franchise,
yeah.
even Anytime Fitness, like anything like that you're going to buy a franchise, I'm fine with that because then they also usually help you with marketing and have a process by which for you to follow. However, there should be a loyalty to the brand from a quality standpoint, and there wasn't. It was just like, this is a fast way that we can get people to open gyms in quantity, and we are concerned about quantity. And we're going to push all of these gyms to be successful to get 200 to 300 members because those are usually the sweet spots for that. And here's how we're going to do it. Not, can we get people to come in here, get better at whatever they're doing, be able to move better, not have physical therapy places open in conjunction with us because that's how they're going to get their business, which is people can argue whatever they want, but there's no reason that physical therapy businesses should be opening inside CrossFits or right next to CrossFits unless CrossFit was causing a lot of injuries, which they are.
It's a marketing.
Yeah.
The worst $1,000 that I've ever spent, and I really hate the fact that I have to say $1,000 out loud to the public right now, is when I got my CrossFit Level 1 cert. It's the
How old were you?
worst possible. I was
I apologize.
24 years old. It's a terrible idea.
Man, this thing, we got
Horrible.
deep quick.
Sorry.
That's a
Yeah.
big in minutes.
Yeah, it was really bad. Yeah, I learned nothing.
Well,
Not just did I learn nothing, I came out of it with like my triceps were actually like damaged after the workout that they made us do at the very end of the day. Like I had like slight tears in my triceps and I couldn't work out for a week afterwards.
So-
Because I'd been Olympic lifting, doing stuff like that, but I hadn't actually done like a real
yeah,
CrossFit
it's all about
Metcon.
unscientific amount of volume just for volume's sake.
And they had us do, and not to get too into it, and Logan, I'll give you a second to speak, don't worry. But they had us do like a ton of eccentric tricep work, right? Right before putting us into a very high volume concentric tricep Metcon. And so it was just, the science behind it was stupid. And I knew as I was doing it, because I knew more than everybody else there, this is a terrible idea. We shouldn't do this. And I'm not conditioned for this. And I did it because I'm not going to just say no. I didn't want to, but I did it. And I regretted it immediately. And it took me out of training for over a week. It was awful. Yeah.
So, I had a question for you, but you kind of answered it. But I had a side note for the marketing ploy for CrossFit is like getting it out and getting it to the numbers. I would guess the majority of the people that are joining it don't have a lot of background in exercising or first getting into it.
True.
So that's why, people who are accustomed to the programming and doing stuff that's healthier for you and avoiding injuries, they don't like it. And if you ask like actual like smart trainers, I guess, intelligent trainers, then they would be against it. And I was going to ask you why you ended up quitting it, and I would guess that you have a background in.
Well, so I got the CrossFit cert for more of a marketing standpoint and for like something that I just wanted on the back of my name more than I did like, because I wasn't competing in CrossFit, right? I Olympic lifted, but that was pretty much it.
Can I just call you Aleco CrossFit coach from now on?
I think actually the funniest part is they won't let you say coach until you go to level 3, which means you have to spend $2,000 or something more dollars.
Yeah.
To continue to go on that
So then,
ladder.
what do they say though? Just
You have
CrossFit
to be you're
certified?
a CrossFit level trainer.
CrossFit
Level trainer. You
What's the
cannot
second?
say. I remember specifically because in the email they said you cannot legally call yourself a coach.
Do you get like
You
new
have to
powers
say
like
a
Pokemon?
trainer.
Like, are you evolving like a Pokemon?
No, it's a pyramid scheme, bud.
Oh. Oh, we talked about that today too.
Yeah, we did.
Pikachu
Yeah.
and then Raichu.
Yeah, right. Well, he only has 2 evolutions though, right? This is 3 levels in CrossFit.
Yeah, to talk about how messed up Ash was for not actually letting him evolve for years and years. He just kept him as Pikachu instead of Raichu.
That actually is a really good point.
That's
I was
messed
saying.
up.
Yeah, he like limited his
Terrible.
growth just because he liked him the way he was, and that you can't do that to people.
Can't stunt your growth. That's like foot
No.
binding.
Yeah, that is exactly like foot binding, but a creature.
Mike hit us with the next one. Something common done today that humans will be embarrassed about in 50 years.
Alex is
Also,
going to go with the same thing that I knew this was
TikTok.
coming up.
I was gonna say, I'm like, this kind of just feels like an easy one. I don't know.
I think it's going to... There's
know
got
if
to be
people
some
will
way
be
that people are
embarrassed by
addressing.
it. Yeah. Oh,
That's how it usually is.
I was gonna
right?
say it's gonna. Yeah, but it always comes back.
The interesting
right?
thing
Yeah.
is that the way people are addressing now is the same way that people were addressing in like the 80s
Which is
/ 90s.
But that's common, right?
So like,
yeah.
but they wouldn't be making fun of it in 50 years if it's just going to come back.
That's what I was saying. Is like, is fashion kind of repeats itself. Over time.
But no, it does, but it doesn't, because I think that,
High-waisted mom shorts, they're back. One-piece
I hate
swimsuits.
that.
One-piece swimsuits.
Is that one of your pet peeves?
It is.
High-waisted
I would
mom
say,
shorts?
yeah. I would say that's something that people.
Yeah,
do,
the high-waisted stuff has come back in full force.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that in 50 years that'll be. Well, I don't know.
jorts?
Are jorts a real thing? Is
Yeah,
that-
what?
like people actually wearing jorts right
Yeah.
now? What? Where? I haven't seen that.
I own a pair.
I can see that. I don't know, because I feel like if somebody wears jorts, the reasons that they're wearing them is amazing,
Okay.
because it's hilarious.
But they're just badass. Yeah.
I don't know.
I wear them ironically.
Yeah, I think that's
Sure you
funny.
do, bud.
Yeah.
All right, Brian.
So, but I think so. Clothing's an interesting one to me. I feel like if that was the case, then people in the 1950s probably dressed like people in the 1850s or 1800s, which I don't think is true.
I think it's different specifically because the modern era is 100% going to be different than, like, people wore clothes based on what they could literally, if you go just as far back as like the 18th century, people didn't really have like a closet full of clothes to
Right.
pick from, right? So fashion and style wasn't really quite the thing that it is now, right? It wasn't accessible for majority of the population.
Well, that's my question is, are things repeating now from a clothing standpoint? Because human beings will repeat behavior regardless, right? Because it's
Yeah.
not like we evolved that fast anyway. But has clothing reached a kind of pinnacle of comfort that now we just kind of reuse?
I think
stuff?
that's a more accurate statement. Is I think as we go forward, like I think the 20th century, you might see some repeat in the 20th and 21st century for the rest of the time. But like, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen in the 22nd century.
Like, are we bringing back bowler hats?
We brought back mullets.
Were
Well,
mullets
hairstyles I could see though.
mullets ever away? Were they never?
Do you think wigs will come back for like males?
Fuck no.
That'd
Right.
be crazy.
That would be crazy. But that could happen.
Maybe
that
So,
could happen.
I have a theory that
so?
I have a lot
Yeah,
of
I
people
would.
that I have gone to high school with that are balding or are bald now, and it's becoming a trend. And I don't know if it's like something's in the water.
Something's in the water.
I don't know if it's like stuff that we're eating or stuff that like I don't know, like the new deodorant or like what it is.
Or people care more now. It's more
They just notice
advertised, or yeah.
It more, you know?
I don't know, man. Like I have like out of like 9 people, like 7 of them are balding or bald.
See, I don't know that many people. I, on the other hand, know,
Period.
Yes. I was gonna say I know like 2 or 3 people that are balding early, but not that many, honestly.
I just don't think I've ever kept track of it.
Maybe it's
Is
just,
this a thing that are you just doing it based on your own balding experience? I mean, not like you balding, but people.
I guess
that you
maybe
know?
it's just my friend group. Maybe it's just my
maybe
friend
just a
group.
very bald friend group.
I guess
Yeah.
So you just have like an affinity for the balding,
my
and the balded.
my prediction is that men will not be able to grow. What?
Just the way that the lead up to it continue. Men won't be able to grow.
This is exactly what he does. I'm watching what he does to me to somebody else right now, and I'm seeing
Here's the
some
thing.
repeated behavior.
Before you worked at Mad Lab,
Yeah.
I was the butt end of the joke.
Gotcha.
So you took over.
You're welcome.
Candyman kid.
The Candyland kid.
Candyland kid.
Yeah.
You can see why he was the
Yes. Yeah. I was gonna say. I'm like I'm getting parts.
Mr.
of that.
Hillman himself. Dan, Mike.
Oh God, Luke. I mean,
Luke was relentless.
Luke
is
was.
Luke.
He's relentless. Oh, dude.
I was gonna say
Talk,
I
yeah.
have I had a conversation with Luke today because as soon as he walked in, when he came into the space, I was just like, Luke Hillman, and I just realized today that Luke and I will never have a normal greeting for the rest of our lives.
Ever.
Never.
Every time one of them walks into space, the other one trolls immediately.
Yeah,
Like
very
without,
true.
they'll pause whatever is happening, and one of them will go after the other one right away.
It's a great it's a great
hilarious.
relationship, and I'm very happy with it. Yeah. it's fun. I don't know. It just is. It is what it is. But yes, I think so. You're saying balding is making a comeback.
Yes, and so men are going to grow
Taller?
No. Wish it was a baller. Men, I feel like, are going to have wigs in the future.
That is what we were doing.
So we're
we
talking
brought it full circle.
Yeah. Are we talking like 18th century wigs? Like we're talking like the powdered wigs? Like the things
Well, that's what I was thinking. But honestly, I think I bet you that is a thing. I think you're right.
You think powdered wigs are going to come back?
No,
or just
maybe,
wigs?
but maybe just wigs, maybe different style.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe wigs become the
Toupees.
new clothing.
What?
So
Like
people,
on your armpit?
so people,
This is my armpit wig. You start wearing it when you're in 9th or 8th grade because you can't grow hair and you just feel sad because all your friends make fun of you.
That was oddly specific. All right. Moving on.
so you have clothing styles, obviously, but then maybe a little less focus on the clothing styles, shoe styles, stuff like that, and then wig styling becomes a bigger thing, right? Not who has the nicest shoes, who has the nicest wig. I'm telling you, I think it could happen.
Honestly, I hope it happens.
Tell me you don't think that could happen.
I don't think it happens, but I hope
agree.
it happens.
And then Nike's going to start
Some of the
branding it.
Think about
Nike's
just
gonna
think
start
about
where would the
branding it.
brand be in the hair?
This is the LeBron James Receding Hairline 3. Just came out.
We
It's like
literally had a clothing
LeBron James
style.
would have his own wig.
2-inch
He'd be
thing.
like, if
Yeah.
Nike made a wig, LeBron James would
That's
be
what I'm
on
saying.
that right away.
Probably.
Yeah. I mean, that dude's hairline is bad.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's up here now, I think.
It's
And that's all it takes, right? It would take one or two super famous people to start doing it.
Oh, yeah.
And then
then
just
it's
pretend
normal.
it's cool.
Then it's normal.
And then, yeah. So it could happen for sure.
I mean,
I agree. I'm agreeing.
I'm not
with you.
saying that I'm trying to get Alec over here on our side.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. Yeah. Okay. Sure. Yeah, it'll happen. Totally.
So we should invest in this now.
Okay. Invest in wigs.
Wigs.
Can you just invest
Wig store.
in
It's a
wigs?
cryptocurrency right now.
Yeah,
Ooh,
crypto.
we should make our own crypto. That'd be cool.
Yeah,
Wigs.
dollar
It's
wig.
called wigs.
Yeah, wigs.
Inc.
We're doing good.
Did everybody answer this question? Did we?
What was the
I don't
question?
remember the question.
It was.
We're talking about wigs.
You know, honestly, let's just.
Was it
what-
about
Wait,
male
what are we
pattern
going to make fun of in 50 years?
Yeah,
And we said
what are we
TikTok.
yeah.
And then we were talking about fashion. And then we got on
Yeah.
a side discussion about fashion.
We did a really good job.
I
of
think
losing our
I
focus
said
on that
clothing and fashion because that
one.
was
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
So you said TikTok right away.
Well, we both said TikTok.
Yeah.
TikTok's is that feels like an
It's like a
easy one.
given.
Yeah. Mike, I really want you to hit us with another one. So
I'm not a fan of that question.
This is a very
100%.
serious one.
100%.
To an extent. No. I think this is a good one. So the question is, do you believe that money can make you happy? I'm gonna, oddly enough, just answer right away. I think that it's a yes and a no. I think that you will be unhappy if you do not have money because you will not possibly. But no, let me specify why that is. And it doesn't. I say money in general because it's not a set amount. If you don't have the money to be able to have like a roof over your head, or be able to buy groceries or feed yourself, or just like take care of your family or whatever like that, right? Then you'll probably be unhappy to a certain extent, right? You need.
So you're
a certain
talking about
amount of
like
money.
thresholds.
Yes, right. You need a certain amount of money to be able to provide necessities for yourself, right? I think luxury money, and especially like if we're just talking like millions and millions and millions, right? Having like excessive amount of money, I don't think that necessarily would provide happiness itself.
I think depending where you are, there's a minimum threshold, and then
Yeah.
there is a place of diminishing returns.
Where would you actually? That's a great question. So great question from me. I guess I'm complimenting myself here. Is where would you place the diminishing returns at?
Well, somebody did the study, and they
Did
said,
you just compliment your question before you asked it?
Yeah, I did.
"That's awesome." Somebody
Great
did.
question,
somebody did.
Alec. Here it is.
Dan, this is gonna be a wonderful answer. So somebody did do a study on it. Actually, the study I read was 85,000, like right around there.
Really?
Yeah, once you hit that, then you start to have a diminishing return on happiness. I don't know what's any
I feel like
study can
there's
be
gotta
flawed.
be some contingencies on that one though, because
Yeah.
depending on where you live as well, and
The cost
the
of
cost
living.
of living just goes up in certain.
I think
places.
it was just for the entire country. So
Okay,
they,
so
they
just like
lumped the entire
a
country
general,
into,
yeah,
Just
okay.
average.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I would agree with. Yeah, because if we're taking just like the national average of everything, like cost of living, cost of everything, right? Then 85,000 can go pretty far in certain places.
So I think there's with that number, there's a couple different things, right? So obviously not talking about its positives and what it covers, right? So I'm assuming that it covers X, Y, and Z normal things, and then you also have extra to not worry, right? After that, I think it starts to look at more money as in most people to make more money would have to put more hours into something or to have more of a stressful environment or have more of a dangerous environment, right? So I think that those things get added in for sure. And I don't remember what my next one was, but I had a really good point.
I want to go to Logan really quickly because you unequivocally said yes, like right away.
So money by itself.
Oh, I know what I was going to say. Go ahead.
No, you got it.
Thank you for
before
that.
you lose it again.
Yeah, because I'm already starting to.
Did you already lose it?
I think I did again.
I went right back to.
There's too many concussions.
All right, I'll take back over.
Yeah.
Too many concussions, among other things.
Among other things.
I wouldn't say like money by itself, like, oh, I'm going to be super happy because I have money. I would say you have the opportunity to create that happiness. So you everything opens up that you can do to make yourself happy. So, I mean, you can have resources. You can take time off work to take a mental health day and do stuff with your friends and like stuff like that where you wouldn't be necessarily be able to do if you were constantly like, oh, I got to work. Otherwise I can't pay my bills. Otherwise I can't, survive. So it's definitely one of the pillars of life, they say, is like the financial aspect of it. So you got social, psychological, financial. There's like two others, obviously, but I don't know what they are.
Well, physical.
Did you say physical?
Yeah, physical would
And
be
then
a huge,
there's one
the
more,
biggest thing.
But I don't know what it is. Emotional. Yep, there you go. Yeah. Perfect. So those are five pillars of life. And one of them is financial. So that would take that out immediately. And then that would also broaden
the time that you could put into the rest of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's almost like a bandwidth thing. Like you only have so much energy.
Right.
So
that's what I think.
I would say because I do remember
However,
my next one.
Go ahead.
So now I do remember it. All right.
Okay, good.
So I also think that it comes with an appreciation value to it. So if you just have money,
Yeah.
it's hard to appreciate what you have. Where like if you've kind of been, so a lot of people that are at that $85,000 mark, they probably had to work up to that, right? Whereas some people that are at like the $400 million mark or the $100 million mark, maybe they didn't work up to it. Maybe there was a trust fund involved. Maybe there was parents and they just inherited a business and they never got to appreciate what it was like to be somewhere else at some of the higher ends of the spectrum. So again, I'm just trying to look at it from where the study is. I also think there's a societal element where at some point in anywhere you compare yourself to other people, even though you're not supposed to, and this is a big reason why.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Where you see what most people are getting and what's accepted to have. And maybe they're looking at that point as most people feel pretty comfortable around their peers because they have those things at that price point. If that makes sense.
No, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, I think it's no matter how often we say like don't compare yourself to others, like you're on your own path. It's like it's really tough.
It's impossible.
It's human nature because it's an instinct.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? It's a survival thing.
Yeah, you see.
Plus, with social media, you're surrounded by it.
Oh yeah, I think that's another really tough.
Instagram's fake. Instagram is completely fake. Somebody's having a good time at a party, and you feel bad for staying at home. Like, say somebody goes out for Halloween, right? They're at a party. Yeah. They're not having that much fun at a party. They just took a picture with a couple of their friends. Maybe they had an okay time, or maybe they did have a good time. But you shouldn't feel bad that like, oh, I stayed home tonight to hang out with my girlfriend or something, or like, but I feel bad for not going out and spending money.
I know plenty of people that I've seen like saying they're having a great time at a gym, or they're like saying they're lifting and doing all these things that aren't really doing anything. I've known people that have taken pictures at parties while I've been with them and be like, you're effing miserable. So and I just see the pictures. I'm like, that person hated this place.
No, it's
so
easy to
it's
make
fake. It's a fake persona.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I agree with that. But that's before we track
you
off,
didn't answer this.
I was about to say, did I answer this? What was it?
No, you
You
did
did.
say.
He said yes and no.
Oh
He
yeah, I said
started
yes and no. I started it. Yeah.
I think I
yeah.
interrupted.
But I didn't. No, you didn't. No. I was just really quick. Yeah, I didn't really have much to say besides just like, I think what you were saying because it brought up the threshold.
Oh,
right?
that's what you were talking about thresholds.
Yeah, because I think 80 to 85,000 is like very, like it's enough money for you to have and live a healthy and happy life with. So I would be content making 85,000 for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
If I was able to like, like do something I love and enjoy and make 80 to 85, I don't really need much more. Like I can, you can invest smartly. You can, handle your finances appropriately and like do what you need to do from there. And then just like, ride off into the sunset when you're ready.
See, I don't think that
theoretically,
I can do that
Theoretically.
at all.
I think so.
I feel like
So that's why my last stipulation is, how do you obtain the money? So how are you obtaining it? Like, are you working every single day, like hard working, like thinking about, what, I have
foot
to work.
picks.
Foot picks. Teeth floss.
Are we just saying random things now?
That's how I was going to obtain my money.
Foot picks.
Foot picks.
Okay.
Oh, feet picks.
Oh,
I'm thinking like-
picks.
I thought he meant like a pick.
Yeah,
Like
same.
in your mouth?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. That's why you said
foot
toe
picks.
floss.
No,
yeah.
like a pick.
Yeah, no, I got what you were thinking. I don't know why you would think that with foot. Like a
Well,
foot
because
long
you didn't say it
toothpick.
grammatically correct, man.
Well, I only meant one foot.
picks.
Oh,
I'm not putting both
then it would just
feet
be
in.
a foot pick.
I'm not some.
A foot
I'm not
pick.
some kind of lower limb slut. Jesus.
So what we're actually
Singular.
doing right now is promoting Dan's OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Look him under Foot Doctor.
only-
Yeah,
feet.
only foot.
One
One foot.
The Mad Foot Doctor.
Yeah. So that's how I'm
He
gonna.
hops around on a peg leg.
I don't think that. I feel like.
And now what you're thinking.
I feel like I'm not. I feel like I can't just
Mike's
make
like, I need to
X
cut
amount
this.
because I always feel like I have to. Like I have to push forward a populace. If that makes sense. Like I wouldn't be happy just making X amount of money because I feel like I have to make even more to help other people out, if that makes sense.
You don't like being boxed in general in life. You don't like being set to diameter. So if somebody says you can only spend this much a year, then that would drive you insane.
Yeah, I don't like rules.
Yeah. So
Yep.
that's the biggest
Yep.
thing for you. I was going to compare it to Clinton
I don't know if that's
Portis.
the
I don't know if you
biggest
guys know the story of Clinton
Oh,
Portis.
yeah. No, that's actually a good one.
Millions and millions of dollars, right?
Yeah.
He worked hard for it, but he was a good running back.
He was a really good running back.
I'm a Washington football team fan, by the way. Worst trade in NFL history of all time. Champ Bailey to
Certainly one of them.
the Broncos. It's considered like the worst.
Not even just for Clinton Portis. They got
Who else did they get with
they got Champ Bailey and a second round pick for Clinton Portis. I believe.
Well, that's
I'm pretty sure.
that's
I'm
a
not
thing
sure,
that happens.
but I'm almost positive.
So, okay, so continue on with Clinton Portis.
So Clinton Portis made millions and millions of dollars. I don't know the actual extent of that. Ended up not even in like a long period of time. So, I mean, he was a running back when we were kids. And now he is almost broke. Like filed bankruptcy, everything, because he just bet it all away. Going to casinos, spending it on buying random luxurious stuff. But like, I mean, it's obviously money is not just the only thing that you need. He definitely needed a financial advisor.
I think that's a really good point, and I did not want to move off this question
But
before we
it's
talk
also
about
how you
that.
get it. So like if you win the lottery, people might
The
be,
first
like,
thing you should do if you win the
ambitious about
lottery is get a financial
advisor. That's the first thing I would do when I get rich.
You also should have you need to have a foundation of mental and physical health to be happy.
Yeah, well,
Emotional health, obviously, like all of those
5
things.
pillars.
Yeah, because if you don't, like financial should almost be the last one, because otherwise a lot of things can go wrong. If you have Clinton Portis, and like I don't pretend to know Clinton Portis, but he probably was struggling from a lot of stuff, and he probably didn't have a lot of support either growing up or in his life when he made that money. And then a lot of bad things happen. And people are like, "Oh, he's an idiot," but you have no idea. No one knows what kind of like anxieties he goes through, how depressed he is, and then maybe he feels like all of a sudden elated for a small amount of time, and then wants to do these other things, and then thinks life is super short. And there's a million things that could happen. But then with those things going on, money can't make you happy.
Well, I think that's where financial once again kind of delves into it because it opens up avenues in those other four.
Yes.
Right. So
No, I
like
agree with that.
it allows for you to be more emotionally stable because you can take time. Once again, as you were saying, Logan, like you can take time off because you feel like you've been working really hard and you need just like a day to relax. Right.
Yeah.
So if you're financially stable, you can, take some time, or even if you want to just leave your job and go find somewhere else, if you're financially stable and you're able to do that, then you might be able to take a month off of work before you get back into the swing of things.
Yeah, and
or
that's
something
sometimes
like
all
that.
it takes. Take
Yeah,
some time
exactly.
off.
So
I think that even
it allows
just
for
any of those pillars, too much of any of those pillars without anything in the other pillars causes a problem in the other ones.
yeah.
So like if
I would
you, for
agree.
example, like if you're if you just all of a sudden have a shit ton of money, you might be like, well, why do I have to care that much about my health or my mental well-being? I'll just buy X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
It's like the Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah, exactly like the Powerpuff Girls.
That's a okay.
Yeah,
So
explain that.
You
sugar,
have to
sugar,
explain.
spice, and everything nice, right? They put
Yeah.
it in a. Yeah, you remember like the. Did you ever watch the? Have you guys ever seen the Powerpuff Girls?
Yeah,
I know what you're talking
back
about,
in
but
the
I
day.
didn't
So
know.
the intro, sugar, spice, and everything nice, and he's putting in sugar, he's putting in spice, he's putting in everything nice, and then he like.
Was everything nice its own thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
It
It's
was like
whatever.
It was like
bottled
bunnies and like
everything nice is.
Yeah, it was like
rainbows.
rainbows.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Bunnies and
seriously.
rainbows, all right.
And then he like knocks in something with like
Listen,
superpowers
always
or
bunnies,
something,
and turtles
like,
are never
knocks in a
represented.
little bit
Like-
too much of something, and it throws off the balance.
chemical
completely.
X.
Oh.
Yeah, the chemical,
Chemical
X.
X,
He-
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
This guy.
Yeah.
The human thesaurus.
I'm learning so much
Yeah.
right now.
Anyways, so that's like too much of one thing ends up with a disaster, but they end up saving the world, so it's not the greatest analogy. But
See, I would agree with that. I think that's not a terrible analogy because even if you had, for example, if your physical pillar was amazing, right? Like you're super strong, amazing looking, all this stuff, you wouldn't really think that you need anything else, right? You'd have that. Even if you're, let's say mentally, you were just a wall mentally, that means that you never really struggle through anything. You probably also get to some point where almost nothing bothers you, to a point where you almost are like a sociopath in a way. So I'm just guessing stuff.
Yeah,
So I
of
think
course.
that too
Yeah.
much of any of these would
Yeah.
be really bad.
No,
if
I
you
agree.
if you're really high emotional intelligence and level, maybe you feel everything around you, and anything just tips your attitude at any given time because you have so much empathy and sympathy for people, you almost can't function.
Interesting. Yeah.
Very interesting.
No,
Very
that's a-
interesting. I'd say, Alec.
That's a very good point. Yeah. Good job, Mike. Hit us with the last one of the day.
Ooh,
Oh man. So
this is good.
it's another superhero one.
Yeah, are we doing Marvel or The Boys?
Yeah, I was gonna say. I was actually gonna say. I think The Boys. If anybody's seen The Boys, so
If the
question.
superhero-
Wait, hold on,
Go
hold on.
ahead.
Let's read the question.
Yeah.
So the question is: would the world be better or worse if superheroes existed? And I would say worse, because I think the reality of The Boys, if anybody who's listening to this podcast has seen that show, it's essentially if you took the Justice League and they were all crazy, power hungry narcissists, right? That's probably the best way to boil it down. I think that's the more likely reality than like what you see in comic books.
Or like Invincible. Have you seen Invincible too?
Yeah, that's another example as well.
I would say that would be worse as well, mostly because it's a need and power thing, right? Why I don't know what a superhero would protect us from, because we already have issues with ourselves. So to get something stronger than ourselves to protect us from ourselves is a huge problem. Like that sets a bad precedent.
Yeah.
And like again, bad things can happen. The Boys would be actually pretty.
I think The Boys is like their most realistic outcome.
I think so too. I was
Yeah.
gonna say it's extreme, but that's not.
I don't think
like
it
that's-
is.
yeah.
I really don't. I think it's exactly
It's
what
sad.
would happen. Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
sad.
So I'm for anybody who hasn't seen The Boys, is these superheroes and they're marketed as world saviors, but then they're super corrupt and it's really about money and power and all sorts of stuff, and they're
Yeah.
killing people on purpose, they're murdering people and all sorts of stuff that happen. And people can't stop them because they're superheroes.
Exactly.
So people try to control them, which is probably what would happen in the first place. So unless we had to, like Marvel, I understand, because you have things coming, and even then there's some issues with that, right?
Yeah.
But you do have creatures coming in from space and all sorts of stuff. At that point, if I have some giant creature coming through space to come eat humanity, then I'd be like, all right, I'm cool. I don't care what really happens. We need a superhero. We need something.
Yeah.
But that's not the case as far as I know.
Yeah.
So I would think it's bad until something like that happened and we need an extreme.
I was gonna
thing to
say, I
protect
think
ourselves.
Marvel's tough because I really would want to believe Marvel would be the case. Like
Yeah.
the Avengers would be what would happen, right? Because that's kind of like best case scenario. But I think you're right. It's like that common enemy that comes out of most of the Marvel stuff, like the Avengers, etc.
Yeah.
All of them, right? That unites those superheroes in a certain way. But like, if Captain America was a real person, right? Let's just take Captain America as an example. He's superhumanly strong.
Very boring.
Right? Sure, yes.
Yeah.
But like at the same time, like if you were like insanely strong and able to do anything that you wanted, right? Let's go ahead and say that you were the most athletic human ever, strongest, etc.
And I'm at best like fourth most.
Would you not just go straight to the NFL right away and just like start trying to be the best player of all time? That's what I thought of right away. I'd be like, you know what?
I don't think you would do that.
I would.
though.
I would do it.
No, you wouldn't.
Yeah, I would. Why not?
Because you would. The way I know you is that you would get those powers, and maybe you would play with them for a day or two, but then you would start to realize that you had a greater responsibility and a greater calling. And I think if you
Sound
wouldn't,
like Uncle Ben.
you wouldn't try to. I think that's always a great quote. With great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah.
I think that you, as an individual, would realize that. I'm not sure how many other people would realize that, but I think that you would, after a couple of days of messing around with it, be like,
Yeah.
I have to do something with this. And you would feel terrible if all you did was go to the NFL. Like even your first game,
That's
you'd
fair.
already feel bad.
Yeah. So far, out of the last 2 podcasts, Dan apparently sees the good in me, and like I'm sitting here. There's been twice now where
We're
Dan,
at 3 times.
Yeah, 3
Actually.
times actually. Excuse me, 3
Fucking
times now.
Candyland. Get out of here.
Three
He's on
times-
he's on your shoulder as
3
like the little
times.
angel.
Yeah, Dan has been like, nah, man, what are you talking
He's an
about?
angel on your shoulder.
Yeah,
It's a good
Just
concept.
Angel for sure.
I'm like, geez, man, you're putting such high expectations on me. No,
well, you weren't going to put yourself on your own team.
Okay, well, yeah, but I did explain why I wouldn't have done that.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. Okay, Logan, continue.
I didn't start anything.
I know this is fun to say that. Anyways, go ahead. Tell us, what would you do if you were a superhero yourself?
Is that the question?
Wait, that's
It
not
is
the
now.
question.
It's now.
What was the question?
It's would superheroes?
Oh, okay.
Or would it be? Would the world be better? Or
Would
worse?
it
Yeah,
better.
what would you do?
If you were Captain America,
Well, what's his power?
Captain America. Let's just
Just
go ahead and
straight up?
straight up say
God.
Captain America.
Who I get compared to all the
Yeah.
time.
Because everybody says he looks like what's his name?
You do.
Evan.
You do look
Chris
like
Evans.
Chris
Chris
Evans.
Evans,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's true.
I appreciate it. As a
So is that your
good-looking guy.
superpower? Yeah.
Yeah, just to look like Chris Evans.
Just to look
That's
like
it.
Chris Evans.
That's it.
All right.
What would I do if I had superpowers? I would abuse them at first, for sure.
In what way? That's real. You might want to expand on that.
I already know. I already know.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
I would.
I'm not going to say anything.
I would probably use my athleticism for stuff to impress people, to be better liked. I know exactly what you think. It's not that, but yes, it is. To be better liked overall, and maybe go to like the NFL or something like that, and like test that out. But I think over time, pretty quickly, I would realize that I have better things that I need to do.
Captain America is a weird one, though, in fairness, because it's not like you have something crazy and you can fly.
No.
So all of a sudden you just realize that you're strong. It might take you a while to realize like how ridiculous things are.
I don't know. Like the minute Captain
maybe-
America starts like running as fast as he could.
I didn't see the first one.
Have you not seen the first Captain
Well, how
America?
fast is he?
Well, he's like outrunning cars.
Yeah, I guess you would. That's
Yeah, like
pretty
that's
fast.
you. It'd be pretty evident that you're like insane.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's like not insane. Like
He's not like the
That's
Hulk
not like the-
strong.
yeah, that's not like
he's
Flash.
Not like the
He's
Flash. Yeah.
And then also like it's just like anything else. Like
he's
what-
like above average for
And then
everything.
when you also
compared to other superheroes.
yeah,
and there'd have to be an element of fear too.
Oh,
Right?
it'd be terrifying to be
Because
that,
you'd all
like,
of a sudden be
powerful.
like,
yeah.
Because one of my first thoughts would be like, what happens if people?
Is Wolfie all right?
Yeah, this is what she does sometimes.
that's from the hot
Okay,
sauce.
she's good.
It's in the hot sauce.
A little ramen noodle.
you all right, Wolf Dog? Good dog. She just needs some comfort.
Yes,
That's
of course.
I think there's an element of fear that comes with it because then you think, well, if other people find this out, then you're worried that you're going to be taken advantage. What happens if somebody goes, I'm the only person that can do this, and the government's like, we don't like this because you're too powerful. We need to study you.
Yeah, I mean
That
that's
becomes a really scary,
possible.
dangerous
Yeah.
thing.
They think you're a weapon.
Right.
well, that's
Because
kind
you
of
kinda
like
are.
that's kind of the whole premise of a lot of the Captain
is.
America Avengers situation, right? Is like they lock down the metahumans and stuff like that because
It's kind of amazing that they had any free will.
Well, that's the whole thing of a secret
Before that.
identity too, right? So I guess you wouldn't be able to like go in the NFL or something because people would know
You'd have to change your name.
that something's wrong with you. Yeah, but they would know what you look like.
Not if you had an alliterative name.
You're just gonna go in the
have to be
NFL
like-
with like a fake birth certificate and like social security.
Well, if you were like
number,
Logan Glassick, they know you. But if you were like Logan Longfellow, they'd be like, 2 L's? Couldn't be
Longfellow
him.
Deeds.
Yeah, see, that's why I like Bruce Banner and Peter Parker and all them are safe. It's alliteration.
It's alliteration.
What would you
Yeah.
say your
It's
name
just
was?
the Marvel-
Safety and
Stiletto
alliteration.
Stiletto Fontana.
Fontana.
Ooh, they'd catch you.
Yeah, because it's not alliteration.
But he didn't pretend to be a superhero. Why were you? What were we talking about when we said that? That was just a name that
Secret
we
identity. If you go
Secret
to hide.
identity. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if we had to go into like a
Shit, maybe we
witness
screwed up.
protection.
Well,
witness
I wasn't
protection.
trying to hide, so I didn't screw mine up.
No. I went to Europe and dueled people as Stiletto Fontana. So
Yeah, neither one of us really tried to hide that much.
no, we really didn't.
Just ignore the
no.
question.
I
Yeah.
think you were killing cats or something.
I was gonna say witness protection would be real sad. About
I don't remember
how-
killing cats.
You're like punching cats.
Oh,
No, I would
yeah,
punch
that was
it
different.
because
That was
you're
different.
right. Because that was the same question.
Was that?
Yeah, because I said you were like hiding behind the cat's ears or whatever.
Oh,
and I was like,
right,
yeah, I'm gonna
yeah.
hide behind the cat's ears and then punch it right in the head.
Right. Okay.
And then you were like, do you hate cats? And I was like, no, just the
Max
ones that I
power.
have to hide from.
Yeah. Well,
Max power.
do we have one more in us, or do we want to call
I've
it?
got another one.
Do we have it? Okay. Mike, last one. We promise. I think.
Oh no.
I have an answer for this right away. and
I love it. This is a good Alec
oh,
one.
God, this is awful. No, this one's really bad. Like it gave me fucking nightmares.
Oh, jeez.
Oh yeah, it's have you ever heard of the movie Tokyo Gore Police before?
Of course.
No, but I
No.
It is
I love
the
where this is
most.
going.
I want you guys to look it up when you get home.
Is it a foreign film?
Yeah, yes, it's Japanese. It is one of the most disturbing things I've ever witnessed in my entire life. The movie itself, for the entire 2 hours, is just think of like the most fucked up possible shit that you could think of, and then put it in a movie, and then add a bunch of really bad effects and fake blood, and that's Tokyo Gore Police.
I have a question for this. So,
Okay.
is it like the worst movie, like worst production value, like this movie's trash, or like worse, like the premise of everything, and it's just makes you feel bad?
I think it's dealer's choice on this one.
Okay.
So,
Well,
I
do,
would
you, do
say-
you have an answer for both?
Don't have an answer for the first one yet, but if I think about it, I could.
All
But
right, well, give us the one you have an answer for.
Hereditary.
I've never even heard of it.
I know exactly what, and I know what you're.
Hereditary is a fucked up movie.
It is a fucked
and
up
it'll make
movie.
you feel. So, are we allowed to do spoilers in this?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert for Hereditary that came out years ago. If you haven't seen it,
It's
you're
probably your own
washed up.
fault at this point. Yeah, you're washed up.
So it starts off. They end up going. There's this family, and the daughter and the son end up going to this. They go to this party, and the son ends up getting high, and the daughter she's a younger daughter, so it's an older brother, younger daughter. She has like asthma issues, and she has allergies. She's allergic to like peanuts, and the son is off like getting high with his friends, and the daughter is like off like eating snacks in the kitchen, and she eats something that has peanut butter in it. So they're on the way back, and her throat starts closing up. So she sticks her head out the window to like try to get air, and something happens, and the son like veers off the road a little bit and ends up like going right next to like a pole, and the daughter's head just comes like clean off, like
Okay.
Yeah, and she's like 10 or 8 or something.
she's like real young,
Jesus. Okay.
and they don't
Yeah,
cut
you don't
any
see
they
it.
don't cut anything out. It's straight up. They
Yeah,
show
it's
the
just
entire
like,
thing.
doof,
Show the
and you're
entire
like-
thing. He pulls up to the house. He doesn't know what to do
in the
So-
beginning.
So he pulls up to the house, doesn't know what to do.
Okay.
So he goes straight to bed, leaves her like
Headless.
corpse,
Yeah.
headless corpse in the car.
Okay.
And then her parents are home or whatever. Their parents are home. He goes to sleep. Her mom finds out by walking outside in the morning to go in her car and just finding her daughter headless. Then it follows with an entire scene of the mom crying for 10 minutes. I'm not joking. 10 minutes, like bawling her eyes out. Now she did a fantastic
screaming and
job,
stuff.
like screaming and like, oh my God, like can't believe it. Like you're actually watching somebody who just watched their kid die. And it's just like, I turned this movie off 3 times. Like, cause I kept putting it back on us. I was like, this has got to get better. This has got to get better. Right.
It's highly rated too.
Cause it's so fucked up. Same guy did.
Why do critics always rate like the most ridiculous, like fucked up shit?
They're terrible at
really
rating
highly?
horror movies.
I hate critics ratings. I really do.
Yeah.
I really do.
They're not.
I'm getting on a tangent though.
No,
Go ahead,
I
please.
agree. Then, right after that scene, it cuts to the daughter's head, and it's out in a field, and there's a bunch of ants just surrounding it and eating her like face and her eyeballs, and it just gets worse as the movie goes on. It doesn't get any better. I would just not recommend watching it.
Yeah, it doesn't. It sounds like the last movie on Earth that I want to watch right now.
It's not good.
Why did that even happen? Because it's about a cult.
Yeah, it's
What?
Yeah, it doesn't.
It's just a fucked up movie.
It is a really.
Yeah, no, I want nothing to do with
And it's
this
also
movie.
not even like because you watch it because it's supposed to be scary, but it's not. It's just fucked up.
Yeah,
It does make you.
It's
just
not
feel
necessarily
weird.
just scary. It just makes you fucking feel weird.
I don't
Yeah.
like it. Yeah, I don't like
Yeah.
it one bit. Dan?
The first one that comes to mind is when I was living with my sister. We like to watch like bad horror movies, but, like bad ones.
Yeah.
So we would like watch those every once in a while. And at the time, I think I was recovering from my ACL surgery.
Okay.
So then she was like, "Oh, let's watch a movie or whatever," and we watched this movie called. It was rated like 16% on Rotten Tomatoes or something.
Perfect.
Which there's no way it's good.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. I have no idea why it's even allowed to be a movie that's recorded at
Okay,
all.
I'm really excited for this. Go on.
It's called Field Freak. I'm pretty sure that's what
Okay.
it's called.
Field Freak. All
Yeah,
right.
and it was just about almost like a Bigfoot type monster.
Okay.
But the production value was so low. I think that we could easily come up with a better movie without ever having recorded a movie.
Like, well, you can make a better
Yes.
movie?
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
if you saw it, there's you'd almost have to try to be that bad with a camera.
Better or worse than Zombievers? You ever see that?
Zombie.
Yeah,
Zombievers.
I've heard
The
about
production
that.
value-
That one's fucking awful.
The production
I haven't seen
value
it. Just to
is
clarify.
That
I've
one's
heard
really
about
bad
it.
too.
so much worse. The production value and the acting is so much worse. Than
Oh,
that.
Zombievers is awful.
It's awful.
There's some
Yeah.
other ones. There's Lamageddon. There's there's Velocipaster. Have you ever
That's
heard of that one?
amazing. I have heard of that,
Yeah.
but I haven't seen
Tell me
it.
why there's like 5 Sharknadoes. How did they continue?
There's 5 of them?
to come. There's like 4 or 5.
They're
dude.
always.
I haven't even
the people
seen
on
one.
Sci-Fi.
They've come out
They
with
put it
more
on the
and
Sci-Fi
more.
channel over and over again, and they just rerun it.
There was one called
Sharknado.
Night of the Lepus, and it's a movie about killer rabbits.
Yeah.
And the way that it was filmed is it filmed everything regular except for the rabbits, and then it would just film a town, like a makeshift town, and they
Like
filmed,
a miniature.
Yeah, and they filmed
city.
real bunnies running, so it looks hilarious because then the bunnies look huge, but they're never in the picture with anything else except for this tiny town. So it'd be like, so
And
it'd
then
go
it just
and
cuts
then
to
all of a
the
sudden cut
people.
to a bunny, and the bunny's like, it's awesome.
See,
and
I
then
like
blood
that.
explodes somewhere. Like
I like
it's-
that even better.
It's
That's-
amazing.
See, I would watch that, but mostly for the comedic value.
If you have to look it
Yeah.
up, Night of the Lepus. It is. It's.
That's
It's
awesome.
as good as I said it is.
All right. Well, I feel like this is a good part to end the podcast today. So thank you
Perfect.
guys. Thank you, Logan, again for joining us.
Thanks for having me. It was
Dan,
great.
as always, and
As always.
Mike, take us away, bud.
Bye.